right, positive energy all the time. What is popping? It's all the way up. Hey, rep your city. You know how we do. Rep your city. I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Pharaoh Ramesses Facebook. Pharaoh said that Facebook. Everybody on YouTube. Everybody over on Twitch. Everybody on Kick. What's going on? How y'all doing on all those different platforms? You with the one of a kind, the only person. I'm 67. I'm the only one doing internet like this at my age. Boss status. Yup. I'm in a league all on my own. So I've been working hard. Sorry I've been a little late sometime. What you represent? We got San Francisco in the building. Yeah, everybody over there on Kick. What's happening, Kick? Yeah, I just got over there. Twitch, I gotta holler at everybody on Twitch. I'll be over there gaming soon on Twitch. I just got to get my gaming set up. As soon as I get that set up, I'll be over there doing y'all dirty on the game. I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. We got the beautiful and gorgeous Arnell with her smart self representing New Orleans. We got More Power representing San Francisco. We got Kankakee. Boy, Kankakee. Kankakee. Oh, boy. I got a story about Kankakee. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Kankakee. I can't even tell that story. I can't even tell that story. Man, YouTube won't let me, I get restrictions. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to try to get me a filter. I'm trying to get me a filter because I don't have one, but I'm practicing. I'm practicing to get me a filter. Queen Sugar. Oh. Da 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 da. Oh, honey, honey, da 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 da. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh, sugar. Oh, honey, honey. What's going on, Stesia? Yeah, the beautiful Stesia's in here with your extra pretty self. As I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Baby. I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her some of my episodes. And I'm like, well, you're my daughter. She said, I want to hear it all. I said, okay. Well, she young black woman. She was asking me about dating black or dating outside the race and all that because she'd been seeing videos and that stuff. So she wanted to know what her daddy think about it. I said, listen, baby girl, I've been around the world and I had a lot of babies. I'd like, listen, your daddy done slept with the whole United Nations, so I ain't the one to ask. She said, I said, uh-huh. So she wanted to sit down. She wanted me to tell her everything. I said, okay, you asked for it. Don't be looking at me sideways. Yeah, beautiful Stesia. I told don't be looking at me sideways when you ask me to tell you everything. With her short fuse. She got a short fuse. Huh? She just go off. I told her, you're going to have to get a new fuse. Your fuse got to be longer than that. So, yeah, we finna talk about the Diddy trial. I've been listening and watching and watching and listening. And I'm going to tell you, New York is not finna convict Diddy, the jury. They're not finna convict him. They got a good case on him, but it's all up to the jury. And these days, everything bogus. Ain't nothing professional. You know what I'm saying? The jury bogus as hell. Nothing is professional anymore. They all in the jury. Y'all heard about the jury? They all in the jury making faces and laughing and talking to each other. And what kind of jury is that? You might not know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about. The jury is tripping. And there's people in that jury that do not like Casey. They love Diddy. If you don't know, you don't know that. I don't know about no pardon. The jury is not. The jury is bootleg. The jury is bootleg. It's a bootleg jury. Okay, just like everything, you can't find professionals no more. Them days is over. It's a whole weirdo society. You can't find professionals no more. You can't. You know what I'm saying? No, the only way you can get convicted is it's got to be unanimous decision. It ain't finna be no unanimous decision. It ain't finna be no unanimous decision. They can keep ordering them back in there, but they're gonna come back a hung jury. It's gonna be a hung jury. It's gonna be a hung jury. If you've been watching it like I'm watching it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you ain't been watching what I've been watching. Not necessarily. Anywhere it go, he gonna walk. He gonna walk. They gotta decide if they're gonna retry him. They might not. They might not. But if it's a hung trial, they're gonna give him a bail. They're gonna give him a bail. Hey, Carol, they're gonna give him a bail if it's a hung trial. They ain't gonna make him sit back in there. They proved in their case. That got nothing to do with the jury. You see what I'm saying? Game girl. You got them proof. Listen, game girl. If you in there and I prove my case, but it's people on the jury that like you, they ain't gonna care that I prove my case. They gonna let you go. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the feds and the state don't have a good case. I'm saying there's jurors in there that's fans, right? And they not gonna lock them up. No matter if they prove everything. Mm-hmm. That's why I say you probably don't know why I know. Anybody told this one thing I can tell you, game girl. If somebody said jurors, the jurors, you know they lying. Because you know there's not no one, right? You know there's not no one thought in the jury. You know that. So you know that it's not the jurors. So people be saying that when they probably mean some jurors. But you don't need nothing but one or two. That's it. As hung jury. That's it. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. I don't know what you're telling me what somebody else saying for. I've been watching on my own too. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you what I'm telling you, sweetheart. I'm telling you the facts. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down for you, gang girl. I'm telling you the facts. I tell you what you do. Go watch Tisa Tales. Go watch Tisa. Tisa Tales. Tisa Tales. You can go click on it right now and come back. Go watch her Friday after court. She's standing outside. Go watch Tisa Tales. Because she was heated. She was heated with the jury. Go watch it. All right then, so you know where I got this from. You know I got this from and what she was saying about the jury. She was saying the lady in the jury that kept tapping people that didn't like Casey and the man in the jury that didn't like Casey. And so why you acting like you don't know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. If they don't, if that's it, he walks. Just on them two. He walks. He walks. So you already know. If you see it, you already know where I got this from. Why you playing, sweetie? Why you playing? Why you playing, game girl? And you already seen it. You already know where I got this from. The jury was on Steele's side, 100%. Because y'all got to understand something. Let me break it down. We live in a fan world with fanboys and fangirls. And in the community and on the internet, guess who's the biggest two stars in the courtroom? Put it in the chat. Who's the two biggest stars in the courtroom, especially in the black community? Name the two people they love. You got to get them both right in the black community. Put it in the chat. Out of this whole case, which is the two internet people they love the most? Which is the two internet people they love the most? Put it in the chat. No, in this case. Doug ain't in the case. The two people they love the most in this case. Put it in the chat. Yeah, he's going to walk. He's going to walk. Because the jury ain't no good. It's not a professional jury. It's bootleg, just like everything nowadays. It's a bootleg jury. Anytime you talking and tapping each other and laughing and making noises in the courtroom, you know you bootleg, right? Do y'all? Yeah, but you probably don't know what I know. I don't know what that got to do with what I'm talking about, game girl. So you losing me. You all over the place. The two people they like is Diddy and Steele. Diddy and Steele are superheroes, are big celebrities. Big. It's people in that jury gonna be cheering for Steele and gonna be cheering for Diddy. This is common sense. This is common. I'm not debating this. These are facts. After the Young Thug trial, Steele is a hero. Diddy is a big hero. So this is why I'm talking in those terms. In those terms, that's what's going on. And because the jury is not professional, right? They finna walk. Yep. It's gonna be a hung jury for sure. They're not. You understand? I'm gonna break it all down to you. I'm giving more people time to come into the chat. I don't want to have to repeat myself. But yeah, it's a wrap. I'm talking real stuff. I ain't talking make believe, nothing. I'm gonna break it down for real. It's not got nothing to do with the evidence. They got enough evidence to convict him. Y'all had nothing to do with evidence. He's cooked. I didn't say anything about the evidence. Y'all listen to me. Don't listen to nobody in the chat. That has nothing to do with the evidence. They got the case, but they don't have the jurors. If you don't have the jurors, doesn't matter how much you prove the case. Just like somebody could be in the chat, and if they don't want to listen to me, they ain't gonna never listen, right? All right, then. So imagine a person like that on the jury. They ain't gonna listen. They got their mind made up. They're not here to listen. They here to, you know what I'm saying? A person like that on the jury, if they decide to Diddy gonna walk, they're not gonna listen to nothing. As you talking in the courtroom, that person is going to be putting information out, not even listening, just like over here. They're gonna be putting out information. Why are you trying to put out information? Ain't listening, none. Just stuck on what they on. You feel me? You can see it. All you gotta do is look it right now and you'll see it. That's how the jury is. I mean, the jury is just like that. Because the jury's not supposed to have no opinions or none of this stuff. See what I'm saying? So when we start talking about opinions and all that, that just proves my case. Because how could you talk about the trial fairly if you got personal opinions that have nothing to do with the evidence? And so what is going on is if you're into your personal feelings, as let's say Casey got mistreated, right? And then let's say she went back to him. If you're in your personal feelings, you're gonna say, well, she went back to him. But if you're intelligent, you're gonna know about Stockholm, you're gonna know about people that's abused, have a tendency to cling to their abuser. You're going to be intelligent, so you're going to know that part. But if you're a fan or if you're something like that, you're going to overlook that part. And so you're going to look at her going back, and then you're going to excuse him for his behavior. You understand? You're going to excuse him for his behavior because you're going to try to find something wrong with the victim. Because if you go back or not, you're still a victim. You're still a victim. So if a man beats you up and you go back, That doesn't make him innocent. Okay? That makes you got some issues, but he's guilty. He beat you up. And so when you start trying to say and give him a pass based on her situation, especially when he's powerful, he's got all this money, he's got control over their life, they trying to make it in, he has the influence to make them come back. But if you're not a really good juror, you're not, you got to be a good juror to really look at the case intelligently. And that's not the jury we got. We got the type of juries that be in the chat and stuff. The jury is bootleg. The jury is not going to be intelligent enough. There's jurors up there that's not intelligent enough to look at this for what it is. He's guilty as ever. It's been proven really already. But he's going to walk. Now, the main reason he's going to walk is because in 2025, we got some city stuff going on, right? So Diddy represents New York. And there's people in New York feel like if he's found guilty, New York holding the L. This is high intelligence conversation. So I'm not going to look at anything to throw off what I'm trying to tell y'all. Listen to me. One of the reasons is because in society today, there's people from New York and they're going to ride with them because of New York. There's people here in Chicago, and if that was a Chicago person, they're going to ride with them, period, because it's Chicago. Now, if you don't understand now, I'm talking over your head, and you're probably not real like me. I'm the realest alive. You might be the 100th realest alive or down the line. But I'm number one realist. So with this city identification stuff, right, that's going to play a big part because he represents New York. And there's people in that jury is not going to want to give their superstar that black eye because he's a New York superstar. You know what I'm saying? You understand? Everybody not like me. I wouldn't give a damn if you was from Chicago or not. If you bogus, bye. But it ain't like that. It ain't like that no more. So there's people because of Biggie Smalls and Diddy and what in representing New York, they're not going to want to blemish the reputation of New York. Okay? Because they feel like if Diddy go down, it ruins the reputation of New York. Like some people felt about R. Kelly. A lot of people in Chicago don't like R. Kelly being in prison. He could have did a whole bunch of stuff right in front of everybody on camera. They would want to free him. They would want to free him just because he's from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's from Chicago. And so you get a New York jury, they're not going to convict no New York superstar. Then if I'm on the jury, right, and Diddy's life, look, let's keep it gangster. Let's say I'm on the jury, right? Diddy's life is on the line. Everybody, we go to deliberate. Everybody say guilty. I say no, not guilty. They say guilty. I like not guilty. Get a hanged jury, right? They get mad. They throw the case out. Guess what? When this is all over, and I send him a message that I was the juror, got him off, he gonna give me a bag for that. Yeah, I'm gonna get a bag. Yeah, I can get a couple mil. I can get $5 million for that. Yeah, I could blow up if I let Diddy go. Oh, yeah, I want to keep it a bit. I could get some money if I let Diddy go. If they say there's one juror that let him go, he gonna be trying to find out who that juror is. And that juror gonna get a bag. For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna get a bag. if I let him go. Yeah, if I let him go. If I look out for myself. If I find him guilty, I don't get nothing. But if I let him go, I get a bag. I let Diddy go. You know what I'm saying? I let Diddy, I'm the one let Diddy go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then you got people in the jury like Wendell Muhammad. You got people like that too. You got people like Wendell in the jury too. That's why I say you're gonna walk. You got people like Wendell in the jury. That's why they're gonna let him walk. Because he's saying they wasn't forced to do nothing. He overlooking the traffic, he overlooking the drugs, he overlooking the record label spending their money to buy the illegal drugs, he overlooking all the guns, he looking over all the terrorist threats, he overlooking that part. He just want to focus on the women. But the case ain't just about the women. So if you got somebody like Wendell in the jury, he ain't got what it takes to weigh the case out. Because all he's concentrating on is the women. But it doesn't matter if you if you take a woman somewhere and you hire a man to have sex with her, that's prostitution. Whether she wanted to do it or not. Listen, if I got a prostitute and she wants to get on the streets and she's prostituting, is it legal, Wendell? Listen, if I got some hoes and they want to be hoes and they are prostituting, if the feds catch us, are they going to let me go because they wanted to do it? If I got some prostitutes and I fly them to another state and they prostitute for money, are they not going to charge me for trafficking just because they wanted to do it? Wendell, yes or no? Just give me a yes or no. That's all. Just give me a yes or no. Let me see if you qualify to talk about real criminal cases like Big Pharaoh. Trafficking don't matter if they went along with it or not, bro. But whatever you say. Whatever you say. So if you got Wendell and they gonna let him walk, he ain't really knowing what's going on. He don't know the law. He ain't listening to nothing. Yeah, I'll be charged. Period. The billionaires and stuff don't care about this case because they already ran and got their stuff and hid it already. I already told y'all that. Any information with the billionaires and stuff has already been secured. So they don't care no more. That's what they went in there and grabbed that stuff first. Diddy ain't got nothing to blackmail nobody. They went and took all the blackmail evidence. It's a wrap on that. And even if they let him out, if he just look like he gonna tell on somebody else, he gonna be Jeffrey Epstein. If he just think, if they just look at his eyebrows go up and it look like he gonna tell, he gonna get Epstein. They ain't worried about that. They ain't worried about him telling on no billionaires. They already went in there and took all that stuff. How many times I told y'all? They went in there and took all that stuff. They went and took that stuff and they prosecuted him just for having it. Are you going to try to blackmail us and all this? Boy, stop. But from what I've seen at this jury and what I've heard about people in the courtroom, this jury going to let him go. He got fans in the jury. So I don't know what there is to argue about. He has fans in the jury. And if you haven't had no criminal case with no jury, I haven't, but that's why I never had. But if any juror is on his side, it's over with. Case over. Now, if it's a bench trial, yeah, then the judge could slam him. But if you got to depend on the jury in New York, some New Yorkers, some fans, let's make no mistake. He got away with all that because New York was fanned out. They was fanned out over. They let him do whatever. Oh, Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. They was his Diddy. So a lot of people knew what he was doing, but he did. They let him do it. It wasn't no secret what he was doing. They let him do it. So they can come with all kind of evidence, but when it's a jury, the jury says, I seen the evidence, I didn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And so you could, like, they got him, but you can't just get him. You got to convince the jury. You got to convince the jury. Doesn't matter how much evidence you got. Doesn't matter how much time you catch his hand in the cookie jar. All the jurors got to find him guilty. If they don't, they'll instruct them to go back in there again. But if they go back in there again and they don't, hung jury. They said, we want a retrial. He said, well, my client been in here all this time. Case was weak. They're going to give him a bond. They're going to give him a bond. So I don't know if he's going to be ultimately charged, but I know this time he finna walk. They're not going to find him. They're not going to find no New York superstar guilty in New York. They haven't been able to find jurors that's not fans. A lot of those jurors lied. Those jurors, the girl that's in there looking all back talking, she lied. She lied to get on the jury. She's not partial. She lied. The dude in there, the dude in there that's making all them faces and doing that and talking to the girl, both of them lied. Both of them lied. The judge should have threw the girl and him off. They should have alternate jurors. They should throw them out. They should be prosecuted, really. The girl making all them faces and in the court and altering the perception of the court. Yeah, if I was the judge, she'd be in jail right now. I would say, we go to recess. I mean, not you, young lady. Come here. Run that film back. Show you're doing a little too much. Why is you doing all that in front of all these jurors and stuff? Why is you doing that in front of the jurors? Then I read her back what she, because I guarantee you, when I read back the paperwork she signed to be a juror, I guarantee you tell her don't do all that. So a lot of people's mad at the judge because the judge let her get away with that. And the black dude making all them faces, oh man, you're not supposed to show no emotions in there based on no testimony. And there's a dude in there showing mad emotions, and the girl, matter of fact, she's looking back, tapping the dude. Why? You're not supposed to do none of that when you in the jury. None of it. And the judge, he's ruined. Yeah, he's messed up. Because all the professionals, they're gonna say he couldn't handle his courtroom. He's ruined. Yeah, that judge, he'll never be considered a good judge. Because he let them people do all that animated stuff in that doggone. The whole trial is the spectators is ghetto. The spectators is that judge. A lot of people that was there said that judge did not control his courtroom. The girl's tapping people and talking to the other jurors. She's not supposed to talk to those other jurors. She's supposed to shut up and listen to the testimony. She in there all ghetto. And the judge let her. The judge let that girl do that stuff. Boy, if she would have been in my courtroom, she'd be in jail right now. Yeah, she'd be in jail. If she was in my courtroom, she'd be in jail. She'd be in jail. If you attend in person and the judge not doing his job and you talk about it, what are you gonna do? Because all they gonna say is court. Well, if you would have did your job, there wouldn't be nothing to talk about. So the judge don't want to be under the fire. If that girl was in there talking and I say something about it, the judge don't want gonna be in trouble because I shouldn't have nothing to say. That's all gonna fall in the judge. So you put me in courtroom and say he was in there talking. I say, why you got me? You shot a stupid judge in there. He didn't do his job. I told him just like that. The judge was bootleg. So don't try to be professional with Big Pharaoh. Don't try to be no professional now with me. When you let this judge couldn't handle his courtroom, lock him up and get out my face. Yeah. Don't try to be professional now. It's already bootleg. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Bootleg. Just, bro, you in court talking. They said at one point the lady looked back and was talking to everybody. Then they was making faces. Oh, she, You're not supposed to show no expression in there. You're not supposed to show no expression in there. That's why I said, nah, he might go to prison later, but this trial is already ruined. They lost the fingerprints to the Cuddy. 2 sets of fingerprints lost. Poop. Mistrial. I mean, he gonna get a retrial. Like, this case is bootleg. New York looking real tacky. Real tacky. If that was in Chicago, it wouldn't be none of that what you see. It wouldn't be none of that all outside courtroom and all that. Hey man, when they had the court here, when they had the trial here about I think Duck and Seti Nash came, and when Seti Nash walked in there, the feds grabbed him and took him like to the 15th floor or something, straight up. The feds grabbed him. As soon as he got to Chicago and he walked in there, the feds grabbed him, took him up, showed him some of his stuff and said, you said this, you said that. Listen, if you say we could lock you up for what you know what I'm saying? Show me at the Duck case. Show me black people in Chicago out there doing all that. All out on the steps. What's the name? Punch somebody out. Big Gene knocked a brother out there trolling Gene. Like New York, tacky. That's why Chicago the number one city. New York is tacky. New York is not the number one city in this country. It's bootleg. It's tacky. It's tacky. They ain't professional over there. Well, you wouldn't have been able to do none of that shit in Chicago. On my soul. Just for a couple of days. It's tacky. The whole thing is tacky. That's why Chicago won the best city for eight years in a row. New York is not the best city. Chicago is the best city in the country. New York is bootleg. It looked real bad. It's looking real bad. All them people outside the courtroom, they pushing and shoving and arguing. Then the bums is down there and the crazy people's down there. And Muggs doing live with the crazy people in the back. The brother that be working out all the time down there doing his stuff, it'd be people getting all in the camera while he down. And I'm like, what is this? Tacky night? It's tacky. It's a tacky trial. It's real tacky. Yeah, Chicago's the best city in the world, better than where you at, Carrie. You carry the queen, your city bootleg. The YN stuff you see, they don't run nothing. They not downtown. They ain't got nothing to do with Lollapalooza. They ain't got nothing to do with the economical movement in this city. They ain't Michigan Avenue. That's the news. Carrie the Queen. Yeah, you watching the news. You're not really here to see the real city. Plus, I don't know why you're arguing with something that's a fact. How you gonna argue with a fact? See, that's when you talk about weirdos. Because I think he's saying I'm saying this. You know what I'm saying? But let me show him something. Here we go, right here. Yes, Chicago has been voted the best city in the U.S. Right there. The best city in the U.S. Once again, Chicago, best city in the U.S. 8 years in a row. 8 years in a row. So go argue with them. You know what I'm saying? You slow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you slow. I mean, you don't count. Your name is Carrie the Queen. Yeah, we're gonna listen to Carrie the Queen. Yeah, we're gonna listen to you. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna listen to Carrie the Queen. You're absolutely the person to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? You one of them people down there acting a fool down there. I'm gonna listen to some dude named Carrie the Queen. Yeah, you know what? I tell you this though. One thing is we got the power. I'll have me later. I'm not finna entertain you. I don't know where you're from. Where you from? Milwaukee? he from he from some little hole in the wall. You know what I mean? I'm not finna argue with no Carrie the Queen, bro. Sorry, not sorry. Bro, you want me to talk to you? Bro. I mean, see, one thing is we living in a time, y'all, where the city pride is everything. And and a lot of people, they take their big superstars and they represent the pride of the city. All of the big cities do it. They take their superstar and their superstar represents the pride of the city. So there's people just on that wouldn't want Diddy to be found guilty. You understand? They just don't want that. He's associated with Biggie Small, Bad Boy. That's a big deal in New York. They'll feel like that'll put a black eye on New York. That'll put a black eye on all the rappers that work with him, like it's done. Look, they threw Rick Ross under the bus, Meek Mills, all the rappers on Bad Boy, anybody he was around, they've associated them with this fiasco. So I'm just keeping it real. I'm not saying what I want to say. And that's the difference. I'm not saying what I want to say. I'm saying what's really going on. I leave my personal opinion out and I speak the facts on what I see. These are facts. These are not my opinion. In these cities, they really look up to their superstars. And they're gonna ride with their superstars no matter what, because they're gonna put city pride in it. It's like when Jordan was here, you couldn't say nothing about Jordan. Period. Chicago gonna be like, no, Jordan. When R. Kelly was going through that, Chicago people didn't turn on R. Kelly like y'all think. They still love Kells. Man, let me tell you something. You know how many people in Chicago want Kells free? Regardless of how much evidence That's R. Kelly. I'm telling you. Y'all think people in Chicago want R. Kelly in prison? No, they want him out. And we live in an era where they say free anybody, free Hoover, free Kelly, free Diddy, free everybody. That's the era we live in, the internet era. Free Tory Lanez, free, no matter what they did, no evidence whether they should be free or not. We live in a fanned out society. Everybody's a fan. It's hard to find a jury. They asked some professionals, they said, should they sequester the jury? They said, for what? They're going to still go into the hotel room and turn on TV and all that. We live in an era where you can't separate social media from the public. It's too late. You can't. And holding that in New York with one of their big icons, they're not going to find that man guilty. Some people going to find him guilty, but I don't believe they can get that whole. I don't believe they can get that whole jury to find him guilty because they pro New York. That's the first reason. The second reason is a lot of men hate women. A lot of men hate women. So a lot of men, they're going to blame Casey. Well, she shouldn't have went back. She shouldn't have went back. See, he said guilty. Look, I proved my point. Look. See what I'm saying? He can't do nothing wrong. And a lot of men, they don't like women. We live right now in 2025. We got the most misogynist men, black men, ever in the history of this country. They do not like black women at all. They always go against women. No matter what he did to her, they're going to say it was her. They ain't got no compassion for her. None. I seen these men, they a disgrace. You should see them. I said, man, who would say something like that? Then they also unintelligent. So you got so many people don't know nothing about psychiatry, don't know nothing about psychology, talking about what she was doing, and you got no intelligence about, you don't have no intelligence about that. You have no intelligence if you say she wanted to do that. You're highly unintelligent. You're not, this is over your head. You don't know anything about psychiatry, psychology, or nothing. You're just a regular person. So you don't know about these type of things. You don't know about abuse and stuff. You're just talking. You're just a regular Joe. You don't know nothing. Because anybody that knows stuff knows exactly what type of games he was playing to manipulate them. You got all this money. You got them at your place. They don't got nowhere to stay. If they don't do what you tell them, you throw them out. You can ban their whole career. They could be done. Not to mention they see you threatening people. They feel like their lives in danger. Who gonna speak against dude? It's dudes in here right now that if they was here with me and my guys, they'll do the same thing. We could whoop you and you'll come back. Yeah, there's dudes we could do that to. We could whoop you, say you violated the gang, and you're going to still ride with the gang. Ask somebody in the county jail or prison. Dudes do it all the time, get whooped, and still run and come right back. Oh, man, my bad, man. I was bogus. I'm going to take my, yeah. Yeah, dudes do the same thing under pressure. If you locked up with me and I'll call it in here and I'll run the deck and we whoop you or whatever, and you're going to come back? Yeah. Yeah, you're going to come back. You're going to do whatever we tell you to do, too. You're going to be a good boy. Yeah. There's only a few that ain't going to stand, but most of them going to fold. They're going to take that abuse and they're going to come back. Seriously, let's take a break and we're going to finish this conversation. So a lot of people don't understand that. You don't know nothing about the pimp game and all that. This is what pimps do. This is what pimps, that's pimping. Diddy was pimping. Diddy was pimping. So you take a girl 20 years old, kind of like a country punk and want to be a star. She get to sign with Diddy and he 40. So he 40, she 20. She just 2 years over 18. Piece of cake. You say, do I think Diddy deserves a life sentence? I don't deal with deserves. I deal with the law. Based on the law, he got a life sentence. I put it like this, Mark. If you did that, you'd get a life sentence. Mark, let me ask you something. If you did that, would you get a life sentence? If it was just you, a regular guy, and you did that, and you did all that stuff, they got pictures of you in the hallway beating up a woman like that. You renting hotels and you paying sex workers. You flying, you traveling people all around. You using somebody else's credit card to get illegal drugs and then you paying them back. Would you get a life sentence, Mark? Yes or no? If you did that, would you get a life sentence? If I testified that I took my credit card and bought all kind of illegal drugs and you paid me back with your record label money, would you get a life sentence? Marv, let's just put it on you. Would you get a life sentence? What you think? Marv, you asked me about Diddy. Let's keep this real. Would you get a life sentence, Marv, if it was you? If you did any of that? Marv? I mean, I'm keeping it real. Let me tell y'all something. I don't do sides. I don't do beliefs. When I talk about something like this, I don't put my beliefs or nothing in it. I look at it for what it really is. I don't come in with no preconceived nothing. That's why I didn't say this till today. Because now, after seeing the last fiasco, oh yeah, he's walking. I didn't see nothing that was showing he was going to walk. But after the jury in there talking to each other and making faces and all that, and there's people on the jury that like him and stuff and cheering for him and stuff, oh, he's walking. The jury is no good. They're not professionals. You actually got a lady in there turning around touching another juror. Y'all think that's legitimate? It's a lady in there that when the other girl that just testified, when she said something, she turned around touching the other juror, talking about the case to another juror, making all kind of faces, and the brother throwing stuff down when he heard the testimony. Like, you're not supposed to do none of that. You're not supposed to show no expressions in there. Look, Marv never answered. See, this why I don't be liking to talk to people over here. Because brothers will ask me something and then they never answer. You see what I got to go through? Look what this man asked me. See what I'm saying? Foul. Now I asked a question, asked him a question. What did he say? What did he say? See what I'm saying? Just wasting my time. You know what I mean? Don't be wasting my time. Don't ask me nothing and then it don't go your way. Now you don't answer. You know, wasting my time asking me so. It take you 15,000 years to respond. Crazy. That's why you be saying, you see, I be going off on some people that be in my chat. That's why. Because they, you know, I'm trying to be intelligent and we trying to be adults. People be playing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He said women suing before getting the next. You got to type that over so I know what you're saying. Sound like you anti-woman or whatever. So I don't know what you sound. I don't know what that got to do with this case. Because you saying women and we talking about the case. So right there, Ben, when you say women, then I won't listen to you because you're talking about something other than the case and you're expressing your feeling about women. And now you're taking your personal feelings about women and you're applying it to this case. So you wouldn't make a good juror because you've already got a concept about women. So you're not talking about the case. That's you talking about your personal views on women. So you wouldn't be a good juror. Ben, that's all I can tell you. You wouldn't be good on the jury. Sounds personal. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it personal. It sounds personal. Yeah, you own some personal stuff. You wouldn't be a good juror. You know what I'm saying? We would have to check your file, check your background. Okay, so Ben, so what did she do to you exactly? Man, she did me dirty, man. These women ain't no good. I was with one. And man, she, you know. That's what it sound like. It sound like personal. Sound like something you've been through something. You know what I'm saying? Women. We're not talking about women. We talk about the case. He said women. See, women ain't no good. Okay, no. Now next, somebody else want to be on the jury? You can't. Yeah, you can't be on the jury. There's issues going on there. We ain't even talking about women. We talk about the case. He said, women, I hate them. You have a whole conniption fit. You ever see these brothers as soon as you mention women, they be tripping. But they done went through something. You know what I mean? You know, real players, real kings, when we have something with a woman, we just leave it on that woman. We never say women based on a woman. We don't do that. I don't say women. If Sarah was acting crazy, I say Sarah was acting crazy. I don't be like some women. No, Sarah. Sarah was acting crazy. Okay, if the women on the case seem to sue before getting the person to protect the next woman. No, the first thing you're gonna do being is secure the bag. Yeah. First thing I'm gonna do is secure the bag. Am I gonna try to get if you do foul to me? Am I gonna try to go to court and get you locked up or get the bag first? Yeah, I'm gonna get the bag first. Yeah, I'm gonna get the bag. Yeah, I'm gonna sue. Yeah, I'm gonna sue. Because a sue, I win and get my money. A case, you might walk. So the way you're messing up is you say before they get them locked up, But right then, you got no guarantee they're going to get locked up. You have no guarantee they're going to get locked up, right, Ben? Think about it. You said get them locked up like that's a for sure. That's not a for sure that they're going to get locked up. And then I can't get them locked up for doing something to you, and then you get on the stand and say, he didn't do that to me, because I'm liable to try to go to court for us, and then he pay them, and then I go to court and they say they don't know what I'm talking about, and he walked. The jury can talk and make emotions and talk to each other. I didn't think so. They could. They can, though. If they can, their emotions is telling what they're going to do. So if you're there and you're making emotions and you constantly are going against one person, then we already know the outcome. To me, that don't make no sense. So if they want to make emotions, you can make emotions, but you ain't supposed to talk to nobody. I've never seen a juror talk to nobody while in court. So I don't know. You saying they can, but I've never seen nobody, right? I've never seen nobody tap nobody doing testimony. I've never seen it before. Now, if you've seen it before, tell me what case you've seen that before. Y'all seen somebody tap somebody in the middle of testimony and talk to the person behind them? They're not supposed to discuss the case. They're not supposed to discuss the case. You know what I'm saying? You research, all right. Well, whether they want to do it or not, they've given away how they going they're giving away how they gonna vote. So if you in there and you constantly saying stuff that's against the person that's charging, then you letting us know they're gonna walk. So you might be able to do it, but you letting us know how you giving away what's gonna happen when they go in the back. So that's why it don't make no sense to me, because why would you show everybody how you leaning before you hear all the information? So that's unprofessional, whether they let them do it or not. You're supposed to shut up and wait till it's done and go in the back and discuss it. But if you constantly showing them how you thinking, I don't know. That seems crazy. It's 100% unprofessional. And for some reason, everybody said the judge should have instructed them to be quiet. From what I understand, you cannot be talking to another juror during trial. You might can go, oh, but you cannot turn around and talk to a juror. Now you got to show me where it say that, because I don't believe it says you could talk to no juror during the middle of no trial. You're instructed to be quiet, actually. But if they say, oh, and you did something, everybody go, oh, you could do that, because you might not be able to help when you hear something, but you can't. That lady turned around and talked to another juror. You cannot do that. Now you got to show me where you could do that. I ain't never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? They already know what they're going to do, and they're going to talk to each other after, but you're not supposed to do it during the trial. You ain't even supposed to talk when you go to a symphony orchestra. When you go see a symphony orchestra, you can't talk. How do I feel about the violence workers on the jury? I don't know. I don't know. They could go either kind of way. They can go either kind of way. But based on the fact they're allowing people to show their expressions, it's clear that it's people in there on Diddy's side. That's all I know. And I don't think that's supposed to be clear. I don't think, I've never heard of a jury where we supposed to know how you're going to deliberate. I never, if you're saying things that's gonna show in advance whose side you on, I don't know. That seems to be a case for a retrial, because the jury could be added to a retrial. Because you could say the jury, this person was leading the other jurors. This person was doing my cross-examination. This juror was interrupting and was influencing the other jurors. And that's got to be a mistrial. From what I understand as a juror, you're supposed to shut up, wait till it's over, and then go deliberate. You are not supposed to be trying to influence anybody until you get in the back, from what I understand. That's why deliberations is in the back. You can't have deliberations in the courtroom. You can't be in there deliberating in the courtroom. What's the purpose of having deliberations if you in there deliberating right while the trial going on, throwing the whole thing off? People get knocked out. It's all kind of bums in front of the courtroom. Everybody's out there with their iPhone trying to get views. It's as tacky as it could be. They shouldn't let none of those streamers be outside that courtroom. A whole big area should be off limits. You can't stand nowhere over here. You got to go way down there. You could not stand here live streaming right here. It just looks tacky. And then bums walking up behind them. Dude coming up. Man, you got to see it. What's your... Hey, check this out. Dude was live streaming. Somebody walk up to him. What's your Instagram? They so thirsty for views. They're like, yeah, go follow me at this. Go follow me at that. I'm like, what is this? What? You out here trying to get followers and subscribers. See, I got too much class. I'd never be out there doing that. That just ain't gonna happen. That's why I'm not one of the top live streamers. Because certain things I just ain't doing. I ain't going standing outside that courtroom with all kind of people walking in the footage and stuff. The brother had to turn around and say, hey, could you move over there? What's my man? Let me see my man. He doing a good job, though. What's his name? Hold on. Let me get a brother some plug, though. He doing a good job, but it's tacky. This brother right here. Hold on. What's the name of his thing? Podcast with Soul. Yeah, the podcast with Soul. I was watching him doing work because he was doing exercise and stuff. But his presentation out there is tacky, but he getting his views. So I ain't gonna hate on him because he doing what he doing to get his views and drive his channel up. But this effort to drive the channel up, but go check out bro. He out there every day, but it's super tacky. because people is crossing and getting all in the thing. But look, 12, 17K views, 12K views, 10K views. Now, see, driving his views up. This how they be getting paid. And that's why I don't get paid. Because I got, you know what I'm saying? Certain things Big Pharaoh not finna do certain things. You know? There's certain things I ain't finna do. I ain't finna do all that. So I just ain't gonna get no views. Yeah, I just ain't finna get no views. I'm not doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Gene Deal knocked somebody out there. But dude was out there harassing Gene, trolling. He should have got knocked out. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's messed up, Marv. It is. This dude out there trolling. You know what I'm saying? YouTubers want to beef. They want to beef with Pharaoh. Then I come in outside, man of my business. Now you see me. Now you want to come and you want to beef with me and you want to record beefing with me and all this. See, you know what I'm saying? Now my hands is tied because you got the camera. So can't nothing really happen to you. Or you might try to take advantage and do something to me so you can record you did something to me. See, all of that, that's a little too much for me. See what I'm saying? That's too much. You trying to get me a criminal case. What's his name? Donut? Yeah, he's a rat. You know what I'm saying? He's a police. He's a rat. He's a police. He's a rat. He's out here doing stuff to brothers that's gonna get brothers locked up. See what I'm saying? Because he got his camera, so you can't sick the guys on him. See, you can't do nothing to him. He's a rat. If you all that, turn the cameras off, right? Meet me somewhere. Don't come with the camera like punk. Turn the camera off and then do the jaw jack. See what I'm saying? You came down. That's what you came down in front of, antagonized somebody, got another man. He this, he that, da 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 da. That's why I say New York. New York ain't number one with the trial or with that. Do that in Chicago. What you think had happened to him in Chicago? He was beefing like that. What's his name? Donut or something. What you think would happen to Donut if he was in the rack, trolling outside in the rack like that? I mean, the case, they got a good case on him, but it ain't, you can't find a good jury. Where you going to find a good jury? In the internet age. They can't find a good jury. The internet age has ruined all of that. See, it used to be time without the internet, you could get people on the jury that don't know nothing. Everybody know everything now. Where you gonna find somebody that don't know nothing with everything right on the phone? You used to have to go to the TV to see something. You used to have to go to the radio to see something. But when it's on the phone, where you gonna find somebody that don't know? Everybody know everything. It's right in their phone. You know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of negative stuff. But yeah, they got a good case. He's definitely guilty. He's definitely a low-life scumbucket criminal and a bozo. Diddy's definitely a bozo. He's definitely somebody that blow, just like Suge Knight and all the rest of them. He definitely somebody did all that work to get to the top and throw it all away doing, come on, bro. You did all that work to do freak offs? Seriously, bro? You did all that work to build yourself up. You want to be on TV. You want to be Sean Puffy Combs. a bad boy, and then at night you want to be the freak off dude doing weirdo stuff, and then everybody find out. So how they gonna look at you? Nobody never gonna look at you as no boss no more. You's a creep. He's a creep. Men got dignity. We're not doing no creepy stuff like that and let that get all out in the world. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. He's a creep. He's a bad example for the black community. Spoiled opportunity. Never put nobody on. Biggie, he didn't give him nothing. Craig Mack, the Locks, nobody made nothing with him but him. He's a straight up scumbag pimp. Period. But I ain't gonna judge the case based on that. But he should have been locked up. He's worthless. He's a horrible person. Horrible. A piece of crap. And he's scary because he know who to pick on and who not. And he go get some real gangsters like D-Rock and them to ride with him because he's a punk. You know what I'm saying? He gave their masters back when the masters wasn't no good. Yeah, he gave their masters back when it wasn't no good. Once nobody listens to your music no more, if you do a song for me and your music hot for the 5 years, and then I keep your master to fire you while you're hot, then new artists come out and you cold as ice, I give your masters back, I done already juiced your masters. Yeah, he's a scumbucket. He's always been a scumbucket. He's always been, Diddy that always wanted to be in the light. He was never a good CEO. He always wanted to be in the front. You're not going to see the white dudes from Universal, from Sony. You're not going to see them dancing all in the videos. You're not going to see them. They're going to take care of the business in the background. This fool, take that, take that. Yeah, I mean, can't rap, can't dance, or nothing. Just in that jump, nobody gonna, just a clown. Just like, bro, sit down and put the artists out. Should have called it Stupid Boy Records. Shout out to my man, Big Homie CC. How you said Big Homie CC? Diddy what? A stupid man with a stupid plan. You know what I'm saying? A stupid man he was bound to crash. Suge did the same thing. Instead of Suge, sit down, right? Where's Suge at? Because he want to be Suge Knight. He want everybody to see him. And they synced him, and where he at? Locked up. Him and Diddy the same. It's crazy they didn't get along. The black man don't know how to put other people on and get out the way. He want to have freakouts. Got a 20-year-old girl signed up to a 10-album deal, and she get one record. And brothers is over here saying Diddy this and Diddy that, but then they'll turn around and disrespect another CEO and say the record labels ain't no good. They'll sign you, but you ain't gonna say that about Diddy. Diddy signed her to 10 albums. She only put out one. You ain't gonna say he a scumbag because he Diddy. He robbed everybody. And now he rich after robbing everybody. You know what I'm saying? So as far as him going to jail, I'm not going to wish jail on him or nothing because I don't care. So I'm not going to put my emotions in and say, he should go to jail or he shouldn't go to jail. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't care if he go to jail or don't go to jail. Don't matter to me. It ain't going to change my life none. So I don't care. I'm not wishing jail on him. I'm not wishing he don't go to jail. I don't care. None. It is what it is. I ain't going to lose no sleep over Diddy. But I know he did all these horrible things to these people. I know that. I know based on the law, he's supposed to get life or at least 35 years, at least. He's supposed to do a 30 piece based on the real law to regular brothers like us That's a 30 ball. Just on the evidence there, that's a 30 ball. For sure. You know how many pimps in prison right now for that activity? Pimps is in prison for what he was doing. It's pimps locked up for that. You know what I'm saying? They just ain't professionals. You got to be a professional. You know, he wasn't no professional. He threw it all away. The liquor company, everything. He threw everything away. No matter what happens, he's finished. Doesn't matter if he beat the case. He's finished. Nobody's going to deal with Diddy. Nobody. He's hot. To be around him make you associated with weirdo stuff. Nobody not finna go around him. He's done. His sons are done. Everybody affiliated with him is done. That whole legacy is over. He's finished. He's finished. Done. Threw it all away. Threw it all away. And the way he did Cassie was horrible, man. You do that girl like that. You 20 years older than her. People said she should, you let a 40-year-old man pimp this girl, and you said it's her fault, and he 40. I've never seen a situation. Black people, a lot of black men. Growing up, if your mother left you at home and you were 13 and your little brother was 9, and you encouraged your little brother to do something, you always got in trouble. The oldest always got in trouble. For some reason now, he 40, she 20, but, the world done got phony. You 40, she 20. And they talk about what she should have did. You a billionaire and she's starving. And everybody talking about what she should have did with a billionaire that's 20 years older than her, that's violent, that got her on drugs and turned her out. And then you saying what she should do because you don't know what turn out means. Because he turned her, that's what we call turned her out. And you want to blame her, say she never should have got turned out. Like, he turned her out. He got her on substance abuse and all that. None of this is her fault. All of this is his fault. You're supposed to be the big homie. Look at J-Mac. See? Prove my point. Look. Show me what he said about Diddy. Just prove my point. Look. Now, he said 20 is too old to make those mistakes. But this dude 40 made mistakes, right? What he said about the 40-year-old in jail made all these mistakes? Nothing. That's how you see phony. Checkmate. I just checkmated him. He's saying she too old to do that. But he 40 and he threw his life away and made a bunch of mistakes. And what have he said about the 40-year-old sitting his monkey ass in court, making all them stupid mistakes, beating up somebody on camera? Nothing. No, regardless, look which one he picked out of the two. Checkmate. I already checkmated him. So what? He got nothing else to say. Out of the 20-year-old and the 40-year-old, he picking on the 20-year-old. He giving the 40-year-old a pass. Checkmate. He's done. He just showed you. J-Mac just showed you. He ain't qualified to speak on these type of situations. He's biased and he's full of it. He's a fraud. J-Mac, you're a fraud. You're biased. You're full of it. Because it's two people and you pick the baby, you pick the 20-year-old, say the 20-year-old too old. And he 40. And you ain't say he too old. Look who he said is too old, the 20-year-old. Boy, I tell you, some crazy people. He said the 20-year-old too old. And I guess the 40-year-old's fine, I guess. But when I grew up and I was raised, the 40-year-old's bogus first, then the 20-year-old. Well, the way I was raised, the oldest first. The first ones at fault is the oldest. So J-Mac, the kind of person come on and his 11-year-old and got the 9-year-old doing stuff, and he'll blame the 9-year-old and give the 11-year-old a pass. So he'd probably be a horrible father. Just totally ridiculous and probably misogynist, because for some reason the 20-year-old's a woman. So he wants to blame the female and give the male a pass because he's a man. So he's showing signs of being a misogynist. He wants to blame the woman, and he wants to give the man a pass. He wants to give the man a pass. I would never listen to him. He's told on himself. These dudes would have did the same thing for $1. Dudes did do it. Dudes did all kind of stuff for Diddy. He beat dudes up too. Yeah, he beat dudes up. Made them sit in the corner. No, they blame the female because females cheated on them and did them dirty. And they put date relationships in their conversations. Maybe their mama wasn't no good, or a past girlfriend, and they transferred that into any situation. That's all that is. Women issues. They want to blame any woman since a woman did them dirty. Listen, I'm really him. I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a break. See, in our world, it's like this. If a man's not doing nothing and a woman come violate him and all that, then she get the blame. But if he's involved and he's the oldest and if he's involved in anything that's going wrong, the blame, the shit rolls downhill. Don't roll up. So in the real world of a real G, Diddy gets all the blame for everything happens under his rule. The king of the kingdom gets blamed for everything under him, period. If you're the big money man and you're the shot caller, you take the blame for what happens under your leadership. Point blank, period. Well, we got black men now don't have no leadership qualities. They're not capable of being leaders. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, his twin daughters is the age Casey was when he did all that too. Exactly. You understand? Seriously. So that's that's why another reason it's going to be hard to get a fair trial, because we got so much misogynism. You know what I'm saying? See, now I've been in relationships where women kind of, I felt like they did me dirty. I make sure that I just leave that. That was just them. That was just her. I don't carry that with me to the next relationship. That's you. Same with dudes. If I'm around 4 dudes and we doing some stuff and one of them do me dirty, I just leave it with dude. I don't start looking at all the other brothers. Leave the discretion and leave the problem with the person that did it. But we got a lot of men now, they butthurt over women, and you can see it. They're just anti-woman, which makes sense because a lot of them didn't have no good mothers. Their mothers, this is the era where women was on the pipe and all that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a low life to do that to a 20-year-old. And then for somebody to say 20 years old enough, show you they ain't got no knowledge because 20 years is a kid. 20 years not really an adult. You got 7, 14, 21. 20 is under 21. You're not full grown till 28. You get all new body, you get all new blood cells every 7 years. So when your daughter get out of high school and she go to college, 2 years, she not grown, she just a sophomore in college. Because college, your children, it extends their childhood. So who gonna say a 20-year-old college student is a grown woman but a fool? Only a fool would say that. If you got a daughter 26, she just still trying to grow up. If you got children. If you got children and you got a daughter that's like 26, she's not really grown like that. She's no match for no 40-year-old. Because you're not full. You start being full grown at 28, but you are not full grown until you're 35 years old. The reason they're moving it down because they eat bad and they're dying earlier. So because people are dying earlier, they're trying to put more pressure on the younger generation. But if you was 20 years old and you was going to live to 100, then how are you old? If you're 20 and you're going to live to 100, 20 is a baby. Because you got to go twice that and 10 to even get to 50. So 20 is not that old. 20 is only old in a society where men abuse women, right? When you see a man talking about she 20 and she old, this is a man that'll date young girls and try to act like they should act like they 30. So when men start talking about she was old enough, these are men you don't want around your daughters because old enough for what? These also men ain't got no daughters because a girl 20 years old is old enough because it's not your daughter. But when your daughter is 20, now she a baby. That same brother said she was old enough. Let that be his daughter. Let that be his daughter. He won't say that. He's phony. 20 years old is a baby. Straight up. If my daughter make a crazy decision and she like 30, even 29, yeah. But if my daughter make a crazy decision, she 20, 21, and you play her off that crazy decision, guess what's going to happen when I see you? You're going to be explaining, well, she was old enough, but I'm going to give you enough time to finish saying what you're going to say. And then I'm going to show you what it really is. Because I ain't, when I was 20 and I had a 20-year-old girlfriend, we was babies. We didn't know nothing what we was doing. It's a fact. When I got out of high school in 18, I was 19, 20, I didn't know nothing. I was not no real grown man at no 20. Anybody saying that you was a real grown man at 20, you a liar. You a liar. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to prove my point. Watch this. I be checkmating people over here. You know what I'm saying? I be checkmating. Okay, 20 is grown, right? 20 is grown. 20, you supposed to know what you're doing, right? Watch this. This is the example I always use. Watch this. Let me show you what 20 years old really is. And you tell me. You tell me 20 is real grown. Watch this. Watch this right here. I'm the realest alive. You don't get this nowhere. Hit the super chat or whatever. PayPal, whatever. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. This is the best example in the world. When you talk about age, I always use this example. Always. 20 years old, right? You're supposed to be grown and old enough, right? That's 20 years old. What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? That's 20. What y'all think? That's grown? That's grown. That's 20. Checkmate again. That's why I'm the realest alive. That's 20. That's a boy. That is a young boy. That is not no man like that. That's not no man like that. Come on, man, stop. That's not a man, y'all. That's not a man like that. He 20. Which one is a man? That one or this one? Which one is a man? That one or this one? Look at the difference. Look at the 20-year-old. Look at the 20-year-old. And look at the grown one. Just look at him. We know what Shaq looked like. Look at Shaq. He ain't looked like this in how many years? Look at him. Look at his muscle. And look at these muscles. Look at his size. And look at his size. Look at his face. And look at his face. I was not mature at no 20. Ain't no way. I can only speak for myself. I did not have it together at 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I didn't have it together. Well, we going to be counting for a minute before I had it together. Oh, my soul, I didn't have it together nowhere in none of them numbers. I was not like grown at 25. I don't know. Maybe some people ain't real like me. I know me. I did not have it together in my whole 20s, really. I was doing kind of grown, baby grown, but I wasn't grown till I got in my 30s. I wasn't grown. I was trying though. I was practicing. I was practicing. I was practicing to be grown. I mean, I was practicing to be grown. I wouldn't no match for no 40-year-old when I was 20, 25. Come on. The 40-year-old me against the 20-year-old me? Really? Come on. Who could tell me that the 20-year-old you could have dealt with the 40-year-old you? Like you ain't all the way solid till you 40, but you kind of solid in your 30s, but you ain't solid till you get 40, to be honest with you. You ain't grown till you 40. That's when you finally feel like you made it out of that era. that era that's, you know, you could go to prison in that era. You ain't that smart. You know, that era, you can get unalived. You can be in a bad car accident. You can make pretty bad decisions in that era. You ain't really got it all. Sometimes you in jail for you go, oh, I don't think I should have did that. You kind of like, I can only speak for myself. If you can make it out of that, if you can make it, to 40, whew, that's why some brothers, they go to prison and they don't really get their manic. They be 40 in prison, and that's when they be like, dang. They turn 40 in prison, and then that's when they look back and realize, wow, I'm doing a 50-year sentence. Some stuff I did, that stuff didn't make no sense. Then they get out and try to tell the other brothers, brother, change your life around, do this and that, because they know you ain't really the brightest bulb in the lamp. Now, you take me at 20 years old, a female with a billionaire, a superstar, and he pimping. I mean, I'm living a $3,000 a month place. I got the best bags in the world. So he do me dirty, then he give me all this rich people stuff. Then he do me dirty, then he give me all this rich people stuff. And then he got you. So let me show you. You a young girl. I'm Diddy. I say, come on, you're going to work for me. You stay in the mansion. You stay down there. That's your room. Do your thing. Then I go buy you a whole bunch of bags and shoes, and it's all in the room. Now, one day you come and you do something, I tell you, get out. Now, this is the power in that. You don't got nowhere to go. It's like, you ever been in a situation where you had to move in with a friend, and you moved in with a friend and bought your stuff, and then the friend get mad and want to throw you out? You're totally vulnerable because you've already settled here. You're not prepared to just get out. Men, you should relate. You ever had a woman, been with your woman, and you get it, she want to argue stuff, and she just tell you, get out. And you can't just get out like that. She don't be like, okay, get out, couple weeks, get you. No, she wants you to get out right then. Well, you can't. How? How you going to get out? All your stuff is there. Y'all living together. You got too much stuff. It might be 9 o'clock. Ain't no U-Haul open or nothing. And if it was open, some women want you to get out right then. They don't want to wait until you can get your, and this is manipulation. They be knowing what they doing. When these women throw you out like that, and try to throw you out. They know they got you in a vulnerable situation. They know all your stuff there. They know you can't just get out. That's why they do that. That's what Diddy was doing. If you're a man, it didn't happen to you. Depending on how many women you've been. If you're a man, you done been with women that want to power trip you because you stand at she on the lease and you ain't. Especially if you got criminal cases and you can't get no lease and you with your baby mama and she got to put her name on the lease. And now if she get mad, she'll be like, get out. And then even if you own the lease, the police always make the man leave. Always. Even if it's your house, if a wife call in a house with her and her husband, say the husband in there tripping, the police gonna ask him to leave his house. Tell me if I'm lying, brothers. They're gonna tell him he gotta leave. But you're like, just my house, sir, just leave. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. It's your house, too. They'll make you leave. They're going to protect a woman. Just like that. So here he is. He got them women there. That's why they had to come back. Now, if you're on the jury and you don't know that, you ain't going to be no good juror. So you try to pay it like, oh, she went back. She got to go back. Go where? All their stuff is still there. They work for him. Now they ain't got no job, nowhere to live in New York. That's expensive. A hotel, what? $300, $400 a night. Y'all ever got a hotel, a raggedy hotel? $400 a night. $350. Ain't no $89 rooms and no. So he kept power tripping them, throwing them out when they ain't got nowhere to go. After he been having intercourse with them, got their minds all messed up. Then he call them, tell them, I love you. You know I love you. I'm sorry, babe. Buy them some stuff when they come back. And you said why they went back, where they was going to go. Where they was going to go. Where they was going to go. And brothers talking. When reality, that's pimping. In the real world, that's pimping. Diddy was a pimp. Diddy's a pimp. Diddy is a pimp. That is pimping. Not only is he a pimp, he's a gorilla pimp because he beat him up. That is gorilla pimping. If he was in my court and he got found guilty, he would not get out. I'd give him, if I didn't give him life, I'd give him 50 years. I'd give him 50 years. I'd give him 50 years because that's pimping. It's abuse of power. He took people that was vulnerable to him, and he took his power, and he misused people. And people talking about she shouldn't have been misused and don't put nothing on the pimp. Talking about, well, she shouldn't have been no prostitute and let the pimp walk. Nothing on him. But he big Diddy, and ain't nobody gonna put no responsibility on him.